In this episode of Bardic Quest, our heroes face new challenges and unexpected twists in the town of Phandalin. Get ready for a wild ride, because the adventure continues. Last time, our heroes awoke from their night of sleep and trauma for some of them, to be greeted by a strange old man who had clearly spent a long time in the wilderness. After a little bit of negotiation, toing, froing, and a little bit of suspicion, he offered to guide our heroes through the Neverwinter Wood to make their way to Phandalin with one Gundren Rockseeker who they have spent a long time looking for. They were guided through the forest along the supposedly safer... No, was it the safer route or was it the quicker route? I cannot remember.
I think it was the quicker route.
I think it was the quicker route.
I think it was quicker.
And found themselves having to bargain with a tree, which caused much confusion. But eventually, when Saga sacrificed her pendant? Medallion?
Necklace.
That's
rune
right.
necklace.
It has been several weeks. Her rune necklace to the tree. The tree quite literally stepped aside and cleared the path. And they made their way out of the Neverwinter Wood, where Rydoth, the druid, bid them farewell and directed them southward toward the familiar town of Phandalin. So you're still several miles out now from Phandalin. There is some time to go. It's cold. There's a chilly wind making your cheeks feel numb, and the crunch of frosty grass beneath your feet. Is there anything that you would like to do, Saga and Thorik? You have Gundren with you, of course.
I think, how long are we away from Phandalin roughly again, sorry?
It's probably a few hours trek.
Okay. Oh yeah, he said we'd get there sort of by the evening, didn't he?
That's right.
Lovely. No, in which case, it just sort of turned to Saga and say, that was wisely done, friend. That was not what I was expecting, but aye, well done.
Lucky guess, really.
I wouldn't really know what a tree would want.
Neither did I. I've had enough of fighting for one day.
Aye. How are you holding up?
I'm okay.
Well, maybe we can unpack some of your troubles over a nice tankard of something.
If you're buying, sure.
Oh, aye. I can buy. Not sure how much coin I've got, but I've probably got enough for a belly full of food, and I'm looking for something hot. Honestly, these nights of lying in ditches and around tree roots, it's not becoming of a dwarf of my age.
Are you a dwarf of comforts?
Not necessarily, I'm not fancy. I'm happy roughing it, but, I think if comforts are there to be had, it's rude not to take them.
I see your point.
How about yourself?
I spent years in the wilderness. It's I'm used to it, but I like a town. I do.
Though not all towns are created equal. I have to say, I've got a bit of a fond spot for Phandalin now. It's perhaps not as much as you, but for a little while I've struggled putting down roots of my own.
And what, you think you're seeing Phandalin as somewhere to settle down?
Not necessarily. It's a bit of a fixer-upper still, isn't it? So we'll see how we go. But I feel, I don't know about you, but with everything that's happened, as much as it came from a small job of couriering some stuff, things have really changed since that day, all those weeks, is it?
Yeah, I didn't know what I thought would happen, but definitely not all of this.
Aye. Well, it's made quicker with a better company. I'm glad we found you in there.
So am I.
Aye.
So am I.
And I still don't think I've got the stink of this bloody castle out of my clothes. I need a bath, honestly. I need a bath.
Could I get a perception check from both of you, please?
Of course.
Sure.
What is it now?
What could go wrong? What now?
What now? Oh, great. That's a 5.
A 15.
A 15.
Okay.
Thorik, as you're having this rather relaxed conversation with Saga as you're trudging through the frosty grasslands, you suddenly hear a quickened sound, like quickened footsteps crunching in the frost behind you.
I point out to Saga and kind of stop and like tap her, and I sort of get my hammer and shield ready, and just sort of call out, "Who goes there?"
Saga gets her sword out.
Before you even hear a response, a familiar but unpleasant smell stings your nostrils.
Is it the smell of 1,000 taverns and pickled fish and salt and sea air, even though we're nowhere near the fucking coastline?
Barnacles.
Just
all of the above and much more beyond. And you turn to see a familiar, rather filthy-looking halfling.
Thorik! Saga! And the dwarf! I found you! Hello!
Oh,
We just
hello!
we fall into step, just kind of like just
Yeah.
turning around and waiting till he catches up. Oh, you caught up finally then.
Did
Yes,
you
sorry,
find a fascinating leaf, or what was it this
Butterfly,
time?
actually. Yes, it very kind gentleman offered me tea. Ah, well, what a gentleman. We went on a real adventure.
Okay.
I see.
But you have that look in your face where you don't believe me.
Oh, I believe that's what you saw.
Just sounds like a weird adventure for something to happen in the forest, you know.
Exactly.
Did you bring any of this tea with you?
Well, I drank most of it, so yeah, it's filled my stomach.
Well, at least you're warm.
Yes. That's all that counts, though, isn't it? Really?
Aye.
Where are your friends, Saga?
We met some wolves.
Right? Yes, I.
And
trailed away.
they were protecting us.
Okay. And Are they dead?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Claws, teeth.
They had claws and teeth?
But the wolves did.
Good. 3 barbarians with claws and teeth. I would never have seen it.
The wolves had... You know what? Just... Never mind.
They didn't survive the wolves.
Right. Lots of wolves. Well, look, good to see. Good to see all of you. I would introduce you to the very kind man, Mr. Von Winkles, but I'm afraid I don't think he can quite keep up with me. That's the butterfly, by the way, not anything else.
Perhaps we'll have the pleasure another time then.
Very well. Goodbye, Mr. Von Winkles. Anyway, off we go.
So Gundren looks to you all and he says, so I have been meaning to ask, because it's been quite some time since we met in Neverwinter. I've been meaning to ask, how on earth did you find me?
Well, it was a sport of difficulty with a sport of luck, and a spit in a spot of something we didn't wish to dally with, but ended up dallying with all the same. We lost Saga for a time. I got separated from Johann and Sergei. They were put in a bit of a spot, and luckily we found someone who healed them. We ended up having to entreat the services of a banshee.
Did you know?
Aye. It's not something we took lightly, but we were assured that with proper respect and proper recompense, they could be reasoned with. And they gave us the information of your location, and we went in peace.
Dealing with a banshee. I am really rather impressed that you are still alive to tell the tale.
Aye. It's not something I'd choose to do again.
No, I can't imagine many that have encountered one would. Well, I must say, your commitment to finding me is, well, commendable, to say the least. I had almost given up praying to the gods that you'd find me. But thankfully I didn't, because who knows, you may not have come.
Well, we weren't going to leave you in the hands of those beasties for too long. I'm sorry it took us as long as it did.
Well, you were clearly working hard, that's all I could ask for. Thank you.
But, if you'll permit me, now that we're out of the lion's den, as it were, it strikes me that perhaps there's more going on here. You've mentioned this map that you're very fond of, where you plan to mine, and that's apparent, but it strikes me odd that they'd take you and Sildar hostage over such a trifle.
How do you mean exactly?
Well, I've known goblins to take hostages and prisoners and such, but I don't know, maybe I'm reading into things. Maybe I've become cynical in my old age, but look, if there's more to this than you've said, I feel like, you know, say what you wish, but we're here to help, basically. We've got our hands dirty up to the elbow with this, and we feel correct me if I'm wrong, friends, but I feel a duty to Phandalin to
Indeed.
to free them of the red brands and this black spider and all of this.
I feel that too.
Well, greed is something that drives a lot of people, and, well, the legend of Wave Echo Cave speaks for itself. I mean, many centuries ago, people were looking for it even then. And, the fact that nobody had found it, well, the legend itself slipped away into history. It was only when I found the evidence that I did that was no longer the case. And, well, it seems that some people somehow managed to get wind of what it is I had found.
So you have found it?
Oh, aye. Absolutely.
Did you go inside?
No, but my brother, or maybe even both of them, probably. I believe they went in when I went up to Neverwinter to gain some more muscle, as it were. I've not seen it myself, but I know where it is.
Wayne, has Gundren revealed to us about Wave Echo Cave before, or is this the first time?
No, you have heard of Wave Echo Cave before, not from Gundren, but from Sildar Hallwinter, and also Elmar Barthen in Phandalin also revealed a little bit more of the legend of the mine, which I'm happy to repeat, or at least give footnotes
Sure.
of. If
Sure,
you like.
why not?
Why not?
It has been some time. That was probably, episode 15 or something. I mean, it's on 71.
Thorik's
Fly
bats.
away. Yeah.
Like bad the fly over Sergei. It's like, can you just go over there for a minute?
Oh, sorry. That's Miss Periwinkle, one of Mr. Von Winkle's friends.
Yes, well, charmed.
So essentially, Wave Echo Cave was a rich mine, a wondrous cavern that clans of dwarves and gnomes had made an agreement to share the wealth of in an agreement known as the Phandelver's Pact. The mine in particular was known not just for its mineral wealth, but for the fact that it contained great magical power. There were also human spellcasters that got involved and allied themselves with the dwarves and the gnomes to channel and to bind that energy into a great forge, which was known as the Forge of Spells, where supposedly magical items could be crafted. And from that, and from the wealth of the Forge of Spells and the mine as a whole, that's where the original version of Phandalin was built up around, and it prospered very well before the orcs swept in through the north and laid waste to pretty much everything at the time. And these orcs were as well supposedly reinforced by mercenary wizards, and they also attacked Wave Echo Cave to try and seize its riches and magical treasures. And apparently there was a lot of conflict within the mines themselves, which the ensuing magical battle supposedly destroyed much of the cavern, with cave-ins and tremors and things, and essentially from there the location of Wave Echo Cave had been essentially lost to time and history, and as Gundren had said, until very recently was not known where that location was.
Grand. Fantastic.
So, you continue walking south, trekking south through the frost, and about 4 hours later, just as the sun is starting to set, you can see in the distance Phandalin. But as you are approaching the town, you notice, even from a distance, that what you were used to seeing as a somewhat bustling town, even for a frontier, seemed a little eerily quiet.
Oh,
Could I also get a perception check from you all, please?
Oh,
That's not great.
16.
That's a little low. 9.
19.
Okay.
I got.
Saga and Thorik, you can just about make out, on the sides of some of the buildings, some red, and you are still at a distance at this point, some red banners hanging from the buildings, which weren't there before. And these red banners also seem to have kind of emblazoned upon them the image of a golden crown.
Do we recognize the symbol?
Do you want to give me a history check, please?
I do.
Can you relay this to me as well?
Oh, gosh, the dice gods are going to take something from me later, because that's a 19.
Ooh,
Nice.
yes.
Never mind.
Well,
They
you-
giveth no.
and later they taketh away. You do certainly recognise this. In fact, it is ubiquitous along the Sword Coast, which of course is where Phandalin is located. This is the emblem of the Lord's Alliance, which is a group of allied political powers essentially concerned with the mutual security and prosperity of its settlements. Members of the Order generally like to ensure the safety of these cities and other settlements by proactively eliminating any threats, and often by any means necessary, while bringing honour and glory, at least in their eyes, to their leaders and homelands.
Was this the faction that was represented? I'm just trying to find her name. The very kind cleric who healed Sergei, and
No, it was not. She was a member of the Harpers.
that's the Harpers, the Lord's Alliance.
Thorik, do you recognize this sign?
You are also aware that Sildar Hallwinter is a member of the Lord's Alliance.
Okay. I mean, I'll relay all this and say, yeah, it's the Lord's Alliance. I saw some of their lot in a sort of committee meeting in Neverwinter where I was in the hospitals there. Sildar is a member of them.
Oh.
It's odd. That wouldn't necessarily trouble me. I mean, as far as I'm as far as I'm aware, the Lord's Alliance relatively, they're not evil. Then I don't know them to be crooked or anything like that.
They are lawful good, generally speaking.
Okay.
Sometimes to a fault.
Sure, like politics, but
Right.
not sinister.
No. Not known to be sinister, no.
Did
Okay.
something happen? Is that why they're here?
I don't know. We spoke to someone from the Harpers and we sort of impressed upon them that it might be a good idea for them to pull their finger out. The Lord's Alliance doesn't necessarily... It could potentially be a good thing that they're here, but the town looks oddly quiet and barren.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Sergei,
Yes.
I think you know what I'm possibly thinking. You've
Yes, I do. I'll start to take off my left shoe.
no.
Nope, not the old shoe trick. Oh, Visibility, right?
Well, up to you, my friend. You know, a disguise invisible. I mean, you've. Can I just say, bravo for the whole. I only heard half it from the bush I was hiding in, but the whole black spider thing you were pulling when we were outside the castle. I don't think I've had an opportunity to say.
Oh,
you know.
black spider, and that wasn't me. That was the black spider.
You could be the same person. I hope not.
Okay, goodbye, and I'll go invisible.
Okay, and you watch as Sergei just disappears in
I'm
front
still
of you.
holding my left boot, and I'll just offer it up to Thorik. Do you mind holding that?
Thorik just kind of waves his arms in front of him to kind of see what's
Out. Okay, out. Yes, thank you. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Just take the
Are
boot.
you sure you don't want this? It might throw you off your.
No, it'll be fine. I like to keep my left toesies out in the fresh air.
That might
Yeah.
be why he spells
I think
so much.
I think your toesies might need it, and I drop it. I cast bless on my hands.
Sanitize.
I use cleric hand sanitizer. Oh fuck, that's too real.
Brilliant.
Devil, be gone!
I'm going to leave the boot. A few worms are nestling in there. They've kind of made it their home, so they may as well stay.
Just go. Wherever you are, just
But
go.
what is he looking for, Thorik? And how is he going to find us?
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying today's episode of Bardic Quest. Before we get back to the adventure, I just want to take a moment to ask for your support. We work hard to bring you the best episodes every week, and we're always looking for ways to improve and make the show even better. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us reach more people and keep the show going. And if you want to be even more involved, why not leave a comment or hit the like button on the latest episode? Your feedback is always appreciated. We have so many great episodes for you to check out, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Bardic Quest on YouTube now and never miss an episode. And with that, let's get back to the adventure. Sergei, you stroll into town. Now bearing in mind that your invisibility lasts for an hour.
Yes.
Probably going to take you from where you are. You're still at a fair distance, but
Okay.
close enough to see the banners, because they are pretty large and they're hanging on some of the larger buildings. Probably going to take you about 20 minutes. So by the time you get back into town, you're going to have 40 minutes left on your invisibility. Okay?
Okay. Good to know.
So, as you venture into town, presumably Saga and Thorik and Gundren are following not too far behind.
Yes, I was going to suggest we
Yeah.
slowly walk towards town.
Yeah, and maybe sort of like literally on the outskirts, maybe kind of hover near a wall or something, just on the outskirts. So we're within sprinting distance of a problem.
Okay. So, as you're entering into town, you're entering from the north, which takes you near to Barthen's Provisions on your left as you come on in. And you can see the town square in front of you. And you can see that there is quite a large group of heavily armed guards stood in front of the townmaster's hall. But that isn't what grabs your attention as much as
Don't do it.
you notice upon every single building are wanted posters featuring a badly drawn portrait of you.
No, I knew it was coming. Excuse my French, but shit. Okay.
What would you like to do?
I don't know.
What
At the
have you
moment,
done,
nobody's
Sergei?
seen you because you are invisible, right? So,
Thank
at the
God,
moment,
I'm
but if you do
very
much, you will no longer be invisible, of course.
very
You're
much missing my
limited to what you
record.
can do, but what would you like to do?
Okay, do I see anyone but the guards around? Any just general townsfolk?
Not really.
Okay.
The market square is
Ooh.
pretty quiet, really, compared to what you're used to seeing.
What's the bounty? How much am I worth?
1,000 gold pieces.
A bit low.
Saga, we can retire.
1,000 shiny golden pieces. Oh dear. Okay. And does it insert any description apart from the picture?
No, but it does state that you are wanted for crimes of piracy and murder.
Yep, that all adds up. Right, okay. Just gonna flex the muscles. Oh, okay. Okay, this is fine. You can be the Black Spider, you can be invisible. You don't have to be Sergei. In fact, let's just change your name. Why not? Kevin is your new name. Okay, Kevin, I don't know. I look around. Bacon, let's go with that. And then I would like to head into the Stonehill Inn. I'm not going to go for Kevin Bacon. But I'd like to sneak into the... Is the Stonehill Inn around?
The Stonehill Inn is around. It's just off of the market square.
Is that the name of the tavern? That is the name of the tavern, right?
It is the name of the tavern,
Cool.
yes. Well
I'm just
done.
going to try the door.
Okay. So, you push the door open, and it's really quiet in here. The
Oh my God.
barkeep is cleaning glasses. There's the barmaid kind of fluttering about. There's not really anybody here, just staff.
Okay. Not good. I'd like to head upstairs.
Okay. You head on upstairs. There's a corridor essentially of rooms here.
Are any of them open?
Yeah, there's one or two of them open.
Okay.
You have about 30 minutes left of your invisibility.
Cool. Do any of them, perchance, have a wash basin?
Yes, they do.
I'm gonna sneak around and look for a change of clothes. And I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but using about 10 minutes of my invisibility, I should probably go invisible. Once I've found some clothes, I'm going to have a bath.
While still invisible.
I'm going to close the door, lock it, and just in almost a trance of everything's fine, act normal, okay, have the change of clothes, and I'm going to have a bath.
Okay. In the meantime, while Sergei is having a bath, Thorik and Saga, what would you like to do?
Do we see these posters from if we're just in the outskirts of town?
It would all depend on how much on the outskirts of town you want to go with, but if you
guess...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, I guess we don't want to be visible to anyone, like, guarding the town or anything, just yet. Like, at the moment, we don't know any of this, and it could be, like, a trap by the Red Brands.
So we're just waiting.
I guess so, but that would be Thorik's mind, at least.
Yeah. Happy to wait for Sergei.
How long should we leave it before we go after him?
I mean, Let's wait until his invisibility is definitely over.
An hour, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think he said that. Yeah. And then we'll go ask some questions of our own. Gundren, I'm just thinking, my friend, you've been taken hostage. Specifically, was it by goblins specifically?
Aye.
Did you see any red brands while you were being held?
No. Only that elf that you tried to deal with.
Aye. That might be the Black Spider. Or they might be connected with the Black Spider. We don't know.
Maybe.
All we do know is that the Black Spider and the red brands are connected somehow. So if we see any, depending on things, it might be better to keep your head down a little bit.
Right. I think that's a fair idea.
We need to get a sense of what's happened to the townsfolk and where they are. There was that old adventurer, wasn't there, Saga? Lived in an orchard.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Darren Edamath.
Yes.
Aye.
Darren Edamath.
He's on the outskirts of town, isn't he? Maybe sort of like...
He is. He's on the northwestern side of town.
Okay. Oh, so that is relatively close to us because we're coming from the north, aren't we? Okay. Well, we'll stay put for now, but he might be worth a visit to get some information if we can see him without going into town.
Okay. So in the meantime, you're going to wait at least until Sergei's invisibility wears off. I'd say, Sergei, the quickest time that you could probably take a bath, and I'm probably being relatively generous here, given that you won't have central heating or the like, but I would say the absolute quickest would be 20 minutes. Which
I'll
would
do
give
that.
you 10 minutes left, which is not much time at all, really, to do much, but you've got 10 minutes left before your invisibility wears off.
If you spend less than like 15 to 20 minutes in a bath, was it really worth running the water, you know?
Well,
If you don't have candles and, you know, some nice...
Lounge for a moment.
Yeah. Glass of wine, book.
Ooh, yeah, I'll have a bath. I'll change. Did I find a new set of clothes?
I'll say yes.
I'll somehow change into them.
It's kind of a little bit effeminate clothing.
Fine by me.
Like very frilly.
Oh, actually, no, perfect by me.
Yeah, almost like a very small ruff around the neck.
Oh, stop it, you.
Frilled cuffs.
Oh, brilliant.
And a sort of like a burgundy colour.
Sergei the Slayer Petrovic, more like.
All of you artists out there, Sergei and drag, go.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Absolutely, please. Once I've got changed, then I'm going to leave my old clothes and my floppy hat laid out on the bed. And I'm just going to take a knife. Can I find like an ink and quill anywhere?
Give me an investigation check.
Cool. That's so good, then it. Wait! It is a nat 1, but I do have lucky.
You do have the lucky trait, yes, as a halfling. Indeed.
What a pisser. It's not great. It's a 10.
Okay. You rummage around and you're like pulling on some like drawers and things, and you're really struggling to find much, but then there is one that has been left open which does have within it some parchment, a quill, and ink. There's a fly buzzing around your unclean clothing that's sat on the bed still, of course.
Oh, Miss Periwinkle, it has been a journey. I will then quickly write down a note on the thing and stab the dagger into it and quickly run and leave as quickly as possible. I will type out what I've written in a moment.
Okay, all right.
You tease. You absolute tease.
You tease.
And then you're gonna leg it out. And where are you headed? Where are you headed to?
Back out of the northern point of the village. I'll try and take one of the wanted posters with me as well.
Okay, so you're headed back towards Saga. And...
Yeah, the last known location of them.
All right. So you sprint as fast as you can. Are you still invisible at this point as you're leaving, or are you just dispelling that?
I'm assuming I'm keeping it for as long as it will go up for.
Okay, cool. So you sprint to the north of town, and you can see Saga and Thorik just by the edge of the road, just in the distance. You're sprinting towards them, and then all of a sudden, Saga and Thorik, seemingly out of nowhere, Sergei just appears in front of you.
You don't smell anymore.
You look nice.
Thank you. Anyway, sorry, no, that's beside the point. We have a slight issue.
When do we not? What is it?
I will unroll the wanted poster.
And you see an image of a badly drawn image of Sergei with a somewhat overly large nose, and the ears are also bizarrely large and out of proportion, but otherwise easily recognizable as Sergei.
Is this... you know what? It doesn't matter. Did you know that these people were after you, Sergei?
Admittedly, yes, maybe. However, look, I thought, we could run away, start a new life, grow some potatoes eventually. They'd never catch up. But, maybe I should have used a different name and stop being so loud and obnoxious.
Look, I don't care what you've supposedly done or not done. We've got a job to do, and we need you. So these people are going to have to pack up shop and go make a nuisance of themselves somewhere else, because, you're not going anywhere.
You really mean that, Thorik?
I do.
Thought for the moment you would, there's a lot of gold, I suppose.
Me, honestly, gold comes and goes. I'm not particularly interested in any more gold that can buy me a belly full of mead and some hot food and maybe entrance into a tavern every now and again. Who knows? Saga, what say you?
I agree with Thorik. You're one of us. You're not the only one who had people after you. As long as you're honest with us, we'll look after you.
I killed a man.
Is this the child you were talking about?
Yes.
No one else?
When you put it like that, it's really quite horrific.
Do you want to talk about it?
Maybe at some point, but the longer we stand and talk, the further away the black spider gets and the bigger this bounty becomes.
If you're sure. But I've maybe a stubborn old goat every so often, but I don't just heal bodies, mate. Same as Saga, I'm sure, but we're happy to listen if you need to talk. But frankly, I'm sure it's not quite as black and white as it looks on that poster. And
well, sure you've heard stories of pirates and stuff that happens on the high seas.
right.
When in the fog of war, there are many casualties.
Nice.
As long as you haven't done it since.
No, I'm been with you since, so I've just
Good.
killed goblins and
Good.
the occasional red brand. So yes, I suppose there has been murder, but potato, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't. That's beside the point. You'll need a disguise.
Tell me the frilly shirt will not do.
This kind of doesn't solve the face looking the same issue.
It's not exactly.
However nice.
It's not exactly very inconspicuous either. If we don't want people to pay you any attention, that's possibly not the way to go.
I can disguise myself. I can go invisible, time limited. So I suppose I will have to come up with something else. But should we travel into Phandalin? Maybe I will only do quick trips in and or lurk on the outskirts.
Well, we were just saying about his name's gone clear out of my head. Harbin? No, not Harbin.
Harbin is the town master. Darren Edemath, I think.
Darren Edemath.
Darren Edemath. Aye, he's on the northwest side of town. He might be a bit easier. Well, there might not be any guards around him, but he's close to us as well, so he might be a good person to drop in on and maybe get a better perspective on what's happened since we've left.
Indeed. Gundren. Gundren Rockseeker. Hello, friend.
Hello?
This, I don't wish for you to pull on any thoughts so much, but whilst you were held captive, this black spider, did they come to visit? Do you know where they could be?
Well, aside from the elf that was in the castle, who claimed to be Black Spider, I've not seen hide nor hair of any Black Spider, or indeed anybody other than the goblins, till you guys arrived, of course. So I can only assume that that was he.
Okay. Well, my main priority is dealing with the Black Spider. Once all that is done, I shall deal with this.
Right. Might not be a bad idea, although it might be challenging, but your friends here are trustworthy folk, and I trust them too, and of course I do in part owe you my life as well, so I'll do anything I can as well to make sure that you are protected.
Well, much appreciated.
Also, we can talk to Darren, but we could, myself and Sergei, me and Saga, I don't see any reason why you and I couldn't approach these people and talk to them, unless it's known we've been traveling with Sergei.
Yes, someone might have spilled the beans in the most proverbial sense.
I mean, surely we'd be on the posters as well, if that was true. So I think it's worth us going to talk to people.
And where are the red brands? Surely if these people are here, they must be dealing with the problem. Like, it would be very nearsighted if they're just here for Sergei and they're ignoring the flagrant corruption in the town.
We could I don't know if we could talk to the town master, perhaps.
Aye. Well, I'll leave it to you.
Not straight away.
Sure. Saga, what do you want to do? Do you want to talk to Darren first on the outskirts and then maybe head in, or do you want to go straight in?
Personally, I'm tempted to go straight in and see what's happening.
I trust your judgment. See that?
Okay.
Thorik sweeps his hand and gets Saga to lead on.
So you all headed into town?
Casually?
With maybe sort of...
Before we head in, somebody give me a name.
Tobias.
Tobias. Excellent. And a second...
actually, Sergei, the name Tobias actually makes you feel incredibly uneasy.
Wait. I forgot. Why?
Well, let's just say that by sheer
luck,
serendipity and bad luck, that actually equates to the first name of a particular young boy.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry, it was just the first name that came to mind.
No, it's... I once knew a Tobias at a tavern. He stole...
Let's choose another name. Thorik, think of a name. And she taps him on the shoulder, I'm panicking.
William Shortround.
William Shortround. Excellent. And I hope this won't be traumatic, but would you mind if I took the shape of one of those fellas who was traveling with us not so long ago?
Of course. We will know which one's you.
What, one of those 6'4" or 5 or 10 people?
Well, then maybe not.
They're not. Yeah, Thorik has a point. They're not inconspicuous. They're
just a middling, just a normal-looking person, average. It'd still be a halfling, still be your own size.
I've got it. Someone who's relatively small, normal and average, perfect. And I would like to disguise self and try and look as best as possible like the old lady who lives in Phandalin.
What Margaret?
Okay. So you cast disguise self upon yourself. And you start to hunch. Your hair grows longer and grayer, and deep wrinkles set into your face as you do your utmost to look as close as memory can serve to Margaret.
Come on, dearies.
Let's just hope Margaret's not in town. So we don't get confused who's who.
Oh, come on, Saga. It'll be fine. I've got flowers to pick. I don't know.
You drip. Come on.
And you head southward directly into Phandalin to find out, really, what awaits you and potentially Sergei should he get found.
Oh, my God.
And that is where we shall end this week's episode. Thank you as always for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and or rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. And we will see you guys next week. So that's it for another exciting episode of Bardic Quest. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Before we go, we just wanted to give a big shout out to James Webster for letting us use his amazing animated artwork as part of the show. If you're a fan, be sure to show your support at patreon.com/JamesRPGArt. And of course, we can't forget the incredible sounds and music provided by Sirenscape. So head over to sirenscape.com to check out their amazing work. Until next time, farewell.